Hey guys, what's up? This is the Reaper of Life. Today I'll be showing y'all how I make my own custom 3D transitions for my streams and recordings. I will be making this into a two-part video series showcasing the basic workflow to making a custom transition. I'll be sure to put each website link in the description below for both free programs that I will be using. Now if you already have your images made up that you want to use for your transition, you can skip to part 2 and we'll get going from there. But if you want to learn how to make your own images for your custom transition, then let's get started. Now, first thing you're going to see when you open up Blender is this screen every time. You might see a newer version, you might have a newer version by the time you see this video, but I'm working with Blender 2.79. So you just left click anywhere outside of the box there to get rid of it. Go up here to Blender Render, select Cycles Render, and drag this box over a little bit. Go under resolution and change that to 100% so that way it's going to give us the resolution that it shows there. And yeah, so I'm just going to make something quick, simple for you guys so you guys can kind of see how it's done and give you guys an idea of, you know, how you can make it and stuff. So I'm going to right click this cube and hit X to delete it. Make sure your cursor's in the center of the grid. If not, hit Shift S, go to cursor to center, and to make an object, hit Shift A and go to mesh and then plane. That's what I'm going to work with right now. I'm going to get rid of the side tab over here just because I want more space with T. That's our toolbar. But I'm going to hit R to rotate and then Y by the Y axis and then just hit 90 and enter and it'll rotate it by 90 degrees on the Y axis. And we're going to go ahead and grab it and hit 1 after you grab it and move it a little bit. Just hit 1 and then let go of the left mouse button. And while the plane is selected, or right click it if you need to select it, hit Shift D to duplicate and then right click and then just drag it over and try to line it up to where it's right next to the other plane. And at the bottom left, there is, it shows those numbers next to global. And you can kind of see right where it's going to be. For me, it's -2, basically. So while I'm moving it and have it selected and holding left mouse button, hit minus whatever number you need. And now the planes are, side by side. That's what we wanted. We're going to go ahead and with one of them selected, go over here to this icon up here. Left click that, hit new to make a new material. Left click on the material and name it whatever you guys want to name it, but I'm going to name mine door material. And I'm going to click diffuse, click emission, color, I'll change it to like a light blue. Okay, so one door is going to be, if I hit Shift Z so you guys can see a render preview here, you can see that one door is blue and the other one's not, so hit Shift Z to get out of render view and right click the other one. Instead of hitting new material, we're just going to hit this grayed out box there and we're going to hit door material, the material we just made. So now both doors are the same. Now we want the background color to be something else other than gray. Gray is okay, but if there's shadows and stuff in your transition, gray is not the thing you want to use. So hit use nodes on the world icon up here. You just go up here and then hit use nodes and I'm going to change the color to green just because it's like a green screen effect. It'll cancel out. You can delete it. That way we know what we don't want to keep. Yeah, so now that we got the background and our doors a different color than, or our transition a different color than the background, you right click the camera and go down here to view, select camera, and then with our camera selected, hit in and to bring up this menu. And these are the rotation values of this camera. We want to change them to where they're level, at least for me. So I'm going 90, 90, move this location to where he's looking at it. That way it's super flat and level and straight and all that good stuff. And yeah, basically line it up as good as we can. Now, once you get it fairly close, just right click the door, one of the doors, hold shift, right click again on the other door to select both of them at the same time, and then hit S to scale. I'm going to scale it up by the Z because that's what I need to scale it up by to get it overlapping on the camera edges. And yeah, it's overlapping on all sides, so I didn't have to scale it up on the Y. Um, yeah, okay. So now we need to make the animation for the doors moving because that's what I'm going to be trying to do here is make the doors move on both sides open. So we're going to go down to start, make sure it's at 1. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to make the animation end at 5 just so it's not a bunch of images. You can get up there a ways. I've had one go up to like 200, but it's really hard to manage, and that's a lot of photos to edit individually. But yeah, depending on your transition, it can be super hard. But yeah, so start at 1, end at 5. Now we're going to make the animation, and we're at 1. Make sure you're at 1, and select one of the doors, right click, and then just hit I for insert keyframe. Now you can do the location, the rotation, or the scale um, separately, or you can do them all together or in combinations. It's up to you what you want to keep track of. So if you have it rotating, you want lock and rot for location rotation. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and select location and right click the other door, hit I, select location, and then I'm going to go over to 5 on the timeline and move it all the way over the door as well. So I just went to 5 and then grabbed the door and moved it out of the way. I'm going to hit I again with it selected and then location. Same for the other door. I'm on 5 on my timeline. Move it out of the way, hit I, and then insert keyframe for location. So we just made a quick little animation of the doors opening, but in this case it's blue squares. It can be whatever you guys want, but this is just to show you guys the concept. And green is what's going to be getting canceled out. But yeah, so when you make an animation inside a Blender, there's a thing called a curve, and that makes your animation start real slow and then speed up and then slow back down and then stop. So if you have a longer animation here, you're going to notice that, just a little bit it has a speed difference. So in order to get rid of that, you're going to select whatever objects you have those keyframes on. So for me, it's just these 2 doors. I just put keyframes for both doors. But you right click the door and then hold shift and right click another one, and then go down here to this box on the bottom left and then change it to graph editor. Now we're in here, and if you don't have them selected or anything, it comes by default selected, but if you don't have them selected, that's what it's going to look like. And you're going to want to hit A to select them all, and then V and vector, select vector. That's what we wanted. That made it a constant speed. Gonna go back down to this icon right here, that box, change it back to 3D view, and now our animation is going to start and stop, or start at the beginning frames and end at the end frames at the same speed. Um, but yeah, now that we got that over with, just showing you guys that so it's a little bit smoother for whatever reason. But now that we get that over with, we're going to go to the camera icon and select render icon or whatever. Make sure your resolution's whatever you want. And now under output, make sure that it's set at PNG because it makes it easier. It has alpha data on each image already, and that's what we're going to be using to make it see-through in the next part. We're going to be photo editing it. So PNG saves alpha data for each image, but JPEG does not. So you're going to want PNG, and keep your color depth at 8 instead of 16 because 16 will give you problems for making GIFs, which are images that display real fast, and I'm sure you guys know what that is. But that's what we're making, a custom transition out of a GIF. So make sure your color depth's at 8, you're at PNG, Um, and then your sampling, whoops, not freestyle. Your sampling is how much quality each rendered square is going to be. So if I go down to performance and change my squares from 64 by 64 to 128 by 128, which is what I like to work at, um, that changes, just so you guys know, that changes how big these squares are that are being rendered and stuff. So uh, yeah, and then the sampling, the samples are how much samples get taken of each square. So if you make bigger squares in the same sample rate, it's going to be less quality, but it's going to be faster. And in this case, I'm just going to make something real quick, 10 samples per square or whatever. And yeah, so now you got your quality all set up. You want your quality. So you guys would probably be at like 100 or 500, depending on how much quality you really want out of the image or each images. But now under output, we're going to select this folder icon. And I already have a folder under my desktop that I want to put all these images in. So if you don't have a folder already, just minimize Blender, right click anywhere on your desktop, select new, and then add a folder and name it. And then when you get to that screen, click desktop um, and find your folder and click on it. But then on this box right here, this is the name of the photos that you want to make. So it'd just be like my transition photo. And that, oh, not font, whatever that is. That is not a word. But yeah, my transition photo. And that's going to be the first one. Then it'll be like my transition photo 2, my transition photo 3, and then 4 and 5. So it'll do it automatically. But then you just hit accept up here at the top right. And now you have a destination for where all these images are going to be saved to. Um, yeah, that's basically it. I mean, you guys got your quality, you got your folder for your images. The background is a different color than your models or shapes, whatever you're working with for your transition. And yeah, all right. So once you guys are done and you're ready to render, you just hit animation, and it's going to at start at 1 and render these doors opening each frame. So you guys can see it right there. All right, and she's already done. So all those images are going to be saved in that folder that we wanted. I'll go to desktop, my custom transitions. So here they are. The blue is the doors, and then the green is the background. I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys learned something and I helped you guys out. I'll see you guys in the next video to photo edit what we just created here. And yeah, see you guys soon.